High water and rock slides creating a problem for some drivers in southern Kentucky.
Animal rights supporters rallied in Frankfort today hoping for changes to animal welfare laws.
And looking to return a dud Christmas present. We'll take a look at where many of those unwanted gifts end up.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening to you. Just a week or so after many communities in the Bluegrass saw record snowfall that shut down much of the state, it's now flooding that has some areas dealing with problems tonight.
That's right. High water from last night's storms closed some roads in southern and eastern Kentucky. WKYT's Phil Pendleton has our top story at 5:30.
Some people who live in this area told me they heard torrential rains very early this morning, and it created some problems, causing some roadways to close in Knox County and here in Pulaski County. The problems here on the Louis B. Nunn Cumberland Parkway just in front of me here, where when some rocks came crashing down from the bluffs above near the Fishing Creek Bridge. Water continued to seep down the rocks in the canyon-like area that drivers experienced just east of the Fishing Creek Bridge over Lake Cumberland. About midnight, drivers called for help when rock broke away from the cliffs and crashed down onto the roadway.
And they were scattered across all four lanes, both east and westbound directions.
Highway crews were called, and it took less than an hour to clean up the rocks.
Wasn't a huge mess, so to say, but it was enough to cause hazard to vehicles and to the public that was traveling, and we had to get off the roadway. So the area was, blocked off for a while. They got one lane both directions opened up quickly. While crews dealt with rock slides in Pulaski County, it was too much water in Knox. Kentucky Highway 11 was shut down briefly, and school officials decided a 2-hour delay wasn't enough, and they decided to close schools for the entire day. Some roads like California Hollow appeared impassable late into the morning, yet it didn't stop some drivers from attempting it, as eyewitness from inside the news vehicle. By noon today, most of the main highways that were closed in Knox County, like Kentucky Highway 11, were reopened. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Officials tell us most of that flooding was the result of flash flooding, and the water tends to recede almost as fast as it rises.
After the storms, another day of sun and warmer temperatures, but that's about to change.
Temperatures will crash tonight, and we could even see some flurries. We're joined now by Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey with an early check of your forecast.
Yeah, and to the folks that were driving through that water, don't do it. Turn around, don't drown. I know you made it through it safely today. You never know, though. That road may be washed out underneath you. Boy, taking a chance right there. Beautiful afternoon that is out there across the region as of now. Beautiful skies, blue skies, sun getting ready to call it quits. Should be a spectacular sunset, and we're seeing colder air that is beginning to blow on into town as well. 60s eastern Kentucky, 40s to the west, right in the middle. We've got 50 showing up across parts of central Kentucky. We're going to drop it very quickly, though, through the 40s and into the 30s. Clouds filtering in quickly across parts of western Kentucky. A sprinkle or a snow flurry coming in underneath some of that action that goes all the way back toward the St. Louis area. And that's a sign of some chillier times ahead. Mainly cloudy skies will take over as temperatures drop into the upper 30s to low 40s by around 11 o'clock. As we look ahead, we've got Old Man Winter ready to fight back into central and eastern Kentucky as we get into that 7-day forecast. Kind of a step down process over the next few days. That's just the appetizer toward a pattern that threatens to go a little on the harsh side into the first half of next week. I'll break that down in greater detail when I get back in less than 10.
Thank you, Chris. Some flash flooding did force school officials in Powell County to delay school by 2 hours this morning. Some county roads were blocked by debris and standing water, making roads unsafe. Powell County Judge Executive James Anderson Jr. says flash flooding is something the county is used to dealing with.
We're always aware of our trouble areas and what we need to do to be prepared, and I think it's kind of a way of life around here, and we've adjusted and are able to adequately handle the situations most all the time.
And the roads were back to normal by the time school began this morning.
Investigators have identified a woman killed in a fire over the weekend. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Montgomery County. The coroner has identified 57-year-old Eugenia Van Hoos as the victim of last Saturday's deadly fire at her home on Camargo Levee Road in Jeffersonville. The cause of death is still under investigation. A second victim is currently on life support at UK Hospital. In Anderson County, a dangerous stretch of highway may be getting a much-needed fix. Just yesterday, a semi crashed along Kentucky Highway 151 near Old 151, becoming the fifth semi to crash in that area in a year. As we told you yesterday, people living along that stretch of highway say the road is just too narrow for semis to travel. Well, today, that stretch of highway is now included in the state's 6-year highway plan. The plan calls for a complete reconstruction of Highway 151 from Lawrenceburg to Franklin County.
Funeral arrangements are now set for the late state senator Georgia Davis Powers. Powers died Saturday. She was known for her fight for civil rights here in Kentucky. She was the first woman and first African American elected to the state Senate. Powers will lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda in Frankfort tomorrow afternoon from 1:30 to 4. Her visitation will continue tomorrow night at St. Stephen Church in Louisville. Her funeral will be there on Friday at 11.
It is a push to help the state's animals that don't have a voice. Today, animal advocates gathered at the state capitol to ask lawmakers to remember Kentucky's four-legged friends. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner has more now from Frankfort.
Animal rights activists gathered at the state capitol today in hopes legislators heard their voices loud and clear. They call Kentucky's current state laws regarding animal welfare embarrassing.
Hard to believe it's already 2016, but we are still living in the dark ages in Kentucky when it comes to animal protection, right?
I believe that Kentucky being last in the nation for animal care laws is an embarrassment. I would hope our new Governor Bevin would highly object to being last at anything.
Animal advocates won't accept last place.
If you're a pet owner, you look at your animal, or should look at your animal as part of your family. We have a responsibility to our pets just as we have a responsibility to our children.
Animal abuse happens. Sam Marcus sees it. He says it's emotional.
Personally, I think that we have to sort of reorient our thinking to looking at animal abuse as a domestic issue as well as human abuse.
Activists want to stop the neglect, the abuse, and the dog fighting.
Where you have dog fighting, you have illegal gambling, you have drug offenses, you have illegal firearms, sometimes prostitution. So it's not just one crime.
There are multiple bills working through the state house. Senate Bill 14 is an important one to this group. It's a possession law. Callahan says Kentucky is the only state without one. Activists are asking Kentuckians to call their state legislators and ask them to support bills that support animal welfare. In Frankfort, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
And for a full list of animal welfare-related bills, just go to WKYT.com.
The holiday gifts people receive are not always the gifts they want. And in the past few weeks, millions of Americans returned items they received. You may be surprised where many of them ended up. The holidays are long gone, but it's the most wonderful time of the year for Michael Riggleston.
I know, it's like organized chaos back here.
Owner of Shorewood Liquidators outside Chicago. That's because this is where many items go when they're returned to sellers like Amazon, Home Depot, and Sears.
Is this almost like Santa's workshop for Christmas rejects?
For sure. Most of it is just customer returns or buyer's remorse.
His warehouse is overflowing with everything from GoPros, Xboxes, and an entire wall of drills. Once they're tested, Shorewood will auction them off at about half the price.
The consumers assume when they returned it, it's put back onto the shelf at the store, which isn't the case.
His business has jumped 1,000% in the past 4 years, and online shopping is a big reason why. Americans returned $260 billion worth of items last year. Tobin Moore, CEO of Optora.com, helps stores process those returns. He says restocking items can be expensive for retailers.
So often the retailers end up just liquidating them for pennies on the dollar, or in some cases throwing them away in landfills, just because it's more cost effective.
Items that survive end up at discount retailers, pawn shops, and flea markets. Some companies also sell the goods online.
So this is what I'm looking for.
David Veerman came to Shorewood's showroom
Got the 2 wheels.
and found a toy truck for his grandson at a deep discount.
What's a wrong item for one is the right item for somebody else.
A return item rebought at the right price. And as a buyer, it's important that you check the return policy on any possible fees or penalties before you purchase something online.
Rescued from horrible conditions and then lost for weeks, the Laurel County pet is finally back home with his family. The remarkable story of lost and found ahead in 5 minutes.
I'm Bill Bryant. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul drops out of the race for the White House. Would he ever try it again? Part of my exclusive interview with the senator coming up on The Bottom Line.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on 104.5 The Cat.
I was scared to go back to the dentist because I hadn't been in for a while. But they cut me some slack when they saw all this plaque and they didn't make fun of my smile. I don't have insurance, but they didn't mind, which I thought was a setup for robbing me blind. But I financed my teeth, this toothpaste was free, and the numbing stuff really worked wonders on me.
No insurance? With a free new patient exam and x-rays, plus extended financing available, dentistry's never been easier. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL.
All right, come on, everybody. It's time to go.
Getting more for your money is simpler than you might think. When you shop at Kroger, you get low prices throughout the store, weekly specials, great value from our quality brands, and digital coupons you can download right to your Plus card. No spin, just savings.
Treat your family to a boneless pork loin for only $1.99 a pound. And large avocados are 10 for $10. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
Now that we've added adjustable base, I can sit up without propping pillows up or having it just everything move around.
You don't have to do anything. It does everything for you.
You can read a book or watch your movies, get your taxes done, whatever. It's kind of perfect.
Change your sleep. Change your life. Change to Tempur-Pedic.
Sleep Outfitters offers 0% financing on every Tempur-Pedic every day at every location. Find your nearest location at sleepoutfitters.com.
My name is Bob DeArmond. I've had irregular heartbeat since 2007.
In 2013, Bob took part in a clinical research trial where a cardiac ablation procedure corrected his atrial fibrillation or irregular heartbeat. As the nation's first hospital to receive AFib accreditation, our specialists help patients like Bob live healthier lives.
I feel very, very blessed, and I lead a normal, active life.
Looking to fall in love this Valentine's Day? Fall in love with summer at the Kentucky Sport Boat and Recreation Show. Shop the latest boats, RVs, and motorsports. Visit the Kentucky Sport Boat and Recreation Show, brought to you by Lee's Ford Marina.
Yo, no thank you for the bag, man.
Checkers and Rally's mouth-watering 2-for-2 deal is back. Your favorite crispy fish with Alaskan filet or our spicy chicken sandwich. Mix or match, $2. Checkers and Rally's.
Epic meals, epic deals.
Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is officially out of the presidential race.
Bill Bryant has more on Paul's decision and how it will affect this year's Senate in today's Bottom Line.
Good evening. After today's political bombshell announcement that Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is dropping out of the Republican presidential race, there are lots of questions now about the Kentucky caucus, which is just over a month away. Paul convinced the Kentucky Republican Party to shelve its normal primary this year and hold a caucus so that he could continue to run for re-election to his Senate seat while pursuing the White House. Kentucky law does not allow a candidate to be on the same ballot for two different offices. Even with Paul out, the March 5th caucus goes on. Candidates had to meet a January 17th deadline and pay to get in. The state party has been busy securing locations and communicating the rules for the caucus. Paul says he is ready to get back to Kentucky and refocus on his re-election effort. He says now is not the day to think about whether he might run for the White House again. Would you ever run for the White House again, Senator?
a bad time to ask someone when they've just gotten off the trail for doing so many appearances. But at this point, you know, it's a great honor for me to be in the Senate representing Kentucky. I'm going to continue fighting for Kentucky jobs, fighting against, you know, President Obama's overreach in our coal industry and everything else. But I'm proud of our run for the presidency. I'm also proud of my service as a senator, and I'm going to continue fighting for Kentucky jobs and for a balanced budget.
We'll hear more from Senator Paul later on WKYT News. The full interview will be part of this weekend's Kentucky Newsmakers program, and that, of course, will be airing on Sunday morning right here. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
It is the ending they were hoping for, but one they weren't sure they'd actually see. He is one of more than 100 dogs seized by police in Laurel County, taken to Life House for Animals in Frankfort to find a home. And that's where Harvey the dog slipped out of his collar. You may recall we covered the story, running away from the shelter. Well, tonight, after more than a month, Harvey is back safe and sound. Hillary Thornton has a story that's new at 5:30.
It's okay, sweetheart.
It has been quite an adventure for little Harvey.
He's absolutely exhausted. You can tell he's been living hard.
39 days out on his own.
Battled the snow, bitter cold temperatures.
We're sick about him, and we knew we had to get him.
Following up on multiple sightings each day.
Jack Russell Terriers are notoriously intelligent, and he did his best to stay away from people.
A smart dog running scared, weeks turning into a month.
We would leave at night crying because, you know, he hadn't been there, we hadn't seen him, but we were not going to give up on him. We were not going to give up.
The sightings of little Harvey then slowed down until back in January when volunteers got word of a spotting out here in this wooded area behind me. That's more than 3 miles from the shelter. Luckily for Harvey, that wooded area he had made his home was the backyard of a family who knew all about his story.
They would text us or call and let us know, you know, I saw him this morning.
Volunteers then setting up trail cameras and a large trap donated by local businesses.
This is where you got fed and watered for quite a while, isn't it?
For weeks watching on camera as Harvey perfectly maneuvered the trap to avoid being caught.
He would hop over the trip plate and eat his food and hop back and go back into the woods and disappear.
That is until yesterday.
Stepped in the right spot to close the trap, and that was it.
Now getting plenty of love from those who refused to give up on him.
He went straight for that soft bed. He was just like, oh, thank you.
In Frankfort, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Welcome home, Harvey. Harvey, though, did suffer a broken front leg. Volunteers believe he was hit by a car in the first few days of his escape. He's scheduled to have surgery for that tomorrow. And if you'd like to help, we have a link on our website, WKYT.com.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Well, what a great story there. Great weather out there this afternoon across most of central and eastern Kentucky. Sunset, you know, from our live sky cam, we get some of the absolute best sunsets you will ever see. And take a look at this one, looking out toward the west. And cam's shaking a little bit, still some gusty winds showing up across the area, but the sun calling it quits for the day, calling it quits already here on this stretch of the Mountain Parkway with our live sky cam there. As we look ahead, colder winds are blowing in, weekend looks good, then harsh winter weather tries to follow that up as we go into next week. Now, if you're out tomorrow morning, chances are you could run into a snowflake or two, upper 20s to around 30. It's mid and upper 30s for many of us as we go into the second half of tomorrow with a mix of sun and some clouds. Defender radar network calm, quiet across the region, though clouds are slowly but surely pressing back into the area. This little dry wedge in between our cold front to the east and then the wraparound moisture that is coming in behind that big storm system that is now up into parts of southern Canada. Flurries underneath that will kind of brush central and eastern Kentucky late tonight into the day tomorrow. That hour-by-hour forecast, remember, every time you look at this, each hour it's getting new information from current conditions, from computer models, so it's spitting out some new data every time we get to a fresh hour. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, still with those upper 20s, chance for a flurry or two. Southern Kentucky, you've got a 40 coming your way tomorrow afternoon. I think you hit low to mid 40s in some areas, yet low to mid 30s across northern Kentucky. Welcome to Kentucky, where you go 5 miles and you get a 10-degree difference, right? We go into 11 o'clock on Thursday evening. Everything's still in pretty good shape. Cold start to your Friday. It's February after all. We'll make up for it into the afternoon. Most areas will surge into the 40s. 5 o'clock, putting the wraps on that work week. All eyes toward the weekend with nice conditions. And by the time we are right at the 11 o'clock hour Friday evening, temperatures have dropped into the upper 20s to low 30s. That will set the stage now for a pattern that comes in here next week that will feature a big return to wintertime. A couple of areas of low pressure with some bitterly cold air dumbbelling in behind those systems. What does that mean for our weather? Well, it's nice this weekend, but on that 7-day forecast, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will feature at least the threat for snow showers and squalls, Arctic winds, and Arctic temperatures crashing the party by Tuesday into Wednesday. If there's any good news in that forecast, it all holds off until after those Super Bowl parties.
There you go.
And our party's right here on Sunday.
It is. We are going to have a party right here. Chris, thank you.
First, with a live look at Lexington traffic flow this afternoon, and heavy traffic on the north side right now. The inner and outer loops of the circle approaching Boardwalk from an earlier stalled car. There's also a crash that's at Georgetown and Nandino. We've been working that one for a while. Traffic's picking up past that, but still sort of a choke point there. It looks like our drive times are going to hold their own with no major issues on the interstate. 75 toward Richmond looks good. Also toward Frankfort on 64. It's a straight shot. Now back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Don. The Cats collapsed last night in Knoxville, Rob.
What happened to Tennessee? Has it happened to one of Cal's teams before? And SEC schools battling for players right down to the very end. Early this morning. That's next in sports.
CBS Tonight.
He's an amazing surgeon.
Does he make you say that during sex? What shocking event?
I was out of my mind.
Will blow the lid off the ER.
Things happen fast.
Call security now!
You can't tell anyone. Not your best friend. Not your future wife. You and I take this to our graves.
Code Black. New CBS Tonight. Or stream it live or on demand.
When you turn on your faucet, you expect to drink clean water. But after the water crisis in Flint, Michigan, WKYT investigates what's being done locally to keep our water clean. What's in your water? Thursday at 6 on WKYT.
Grab my lipstick. Hey, what are you doing?
Getting the codes.
For a half hour?
Bob just got Time Warner Cable. He's getting more.
More what?
More than 25,000 movies and shows on demand, most for free. Look, he's DVRing like 6 shows at once.
Let's go.
Oh, this grass is so much greener than on our TV.
Why are your shoes off?
Because I'm on their bed. I don't want to be rude.
Discover how much more is included.
Are those meatballs still circulating?
Get TV, internet, and phone for $89.99 per month, only from Time Warner Cable.
Did your family set a goal to become healthier in the new year? One family did and lost 300 pounds at Ageless. Bruce lost 92 pounds, Adam lost 64 pounds, and Catherine lost 151 pounds. For a medically supervised, affordable weight loss solution, call Ageless today for a free consultation.
19 pool tables and a full bar. Only at Silver Q on New Circle Road.
Do-it-yourself stores may be fine for garden hoses and 2x4s, but appliances? Those guys may know these washers, but P-Rats knows these washers, and ranges, and refrigerators, and more. And after 4 years of being rated the best place to buy appliances in Central Kentucky, there's nowhere else in the Bluegrass better suited to help find your perfect kitchen. So for wood screws and wheelbarrows, go ahead, do it yourself, but for the right appliances at the right price. Nobody beats P-Rats.
I love Kentucky because it's my home. It's where I was born and raised, and it's me.
The people of Kentucky are proud to be Kentuckians, proud of the heritage, proud of the tradition, and I share that pride.
Whether they're single moms, elderly couples, working families, those are the kind of people that we help.
At the end of the day, helping Kentucky is what it's all about. If someone needs help or one of their loved ones needs help, all they have to do is give us a call.
Hair Win, lawyers helping people. 859-780-3333.
Known for our small-town feel and big-city care, we have been saving patients money for 30 years. When you need medical imaging, tell your doctor you have a choice. Call and compare prices. Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI.
Hard work. It took hard work to get here, and we Kentuckians know it will take hard work to get us through tomorrow. At WKYT, we're proud to tell the stories of everyday Kentuckians who aren't afraid to get their hands a little dirty to make this a better place to live. WKYT stands for Kentucky.
For all your hearth and grill needs, shop barnhillchimney.com.
Mark Stoops and his staff held on to the commitments they expected today. They have a class of 25. Stoops calls it his best class yet. Included is defensive back Jordan Griffin out of Jonesboro, Georgia, intercepting the pass here. Now, recruiting is a battle going right down to the end. This morning, a big-time school was still trying to get Griffin away from Kentucky.
I talked to him and Mom, every day this week, and they were just getting absolutely hounded. They were getting wore out by head coaches, wore out by assistants, and it was ironic. This morning, he was the first call I got, and so DA Derek Ansley handed me the phone, and it was about 7:05 this morning. And as we were on the phone, I could tell he was a little bit flustered, and I heard Mom in the background, and I said, "Is he?" I said, "Jordan, are they on the phone with you right now?" I ain't gonna say who or whatever, but there's like, yeah, they're wearing out my mom right now. And so I said, well, tell them I got the facts in my hand. It's over. Lock it up.
And we will have a 1-hour signing day special coming up tonight. Wildcats of the Future 2016. It airs tonight at 10 on the CW Lexington. Still tonight, it is hard to believe what happened last night in Knoxville. Kentucky up 21 in the first half and then losing to Tennessee. It was the biggest UK collapse in years and years and years. The lead disappeared quickly, down to 6 at halftime, something that John Calipari said normally doesn't happen to his teams.
Historically, you may have to look back, but if my teams get up 10, it's like 102. So I'm coaching a different kind of team. You're up 21. Possessions don't matter right now with certain guys on the team. So all of a sudden, it's only one play. Well, it's only 2 plays. It's only 3 plays. And all of a sudden, it's a 6-point game at halftime. And then you're in a dogfight. And they got to give Rick credit. He had them ready. They fought like heck.
And the Cats are back home Saturday to play the Florida Gators. We'll have it live right here on WKYT. And we'll hear from John Calipari live right after the game on Wildcat Wrap-Up. That will follow shortly at 6 o'clock here on WKYT. Much more on signing day coming up in the next half hour. We'll hear from Landon Young. Stay with us as we continue.